basketball.
It's time to strap in and get ready. The Insight NBA team is in the arena, bringing you the ultimate play-by-play on who's hot and who's not to help you win your leagues and dominate your mates. You're now hooping with your hosts, Matty G, Skitty, and Mally for the Insight NBA show.
G'day everyone and welcome to the Insight NBA show. I am your host, Matty G, usually joined by Mally. Shout out and much love to him. He couldn't make it tonight because I was late. I had to put the little fella down and then I'm here and now I'm here to talk about guys from every single team in the NBA. And from our text chain, we were talking this afternoon being like, who are we going to cover? Because we wanted to change it up. Usually we go by like, here's top 20 guys, who's top 25 guys who we're adding and why. And we give you their ownership percentages on Yahoo, on ESPN, and Fantrax. And we want to take a break from that this week just to discuss the different NBA teams because we're getting a lot of questions or ads like, who do I add? Because this bloke's injured or this guy's out this game. Where do I turn to? And so I thought with Mally tonight, we'd peek under the hood of all 30 teams in the NBA, plus give you streaming targets. So not only are we going to do our must adds and why, we're going to have a look at the injuries or reports on teams, or even guys who are carving out positions on teams, maybe because of injury, maybe because of poor play. Sometimes they're linked. Desmond Bane, Memphis Grizzlies right now. He's been on the upswing. He had a couple of really bad ones, a couple of stinkers. Getting the confidence back today. This is what we like to see. But who else has been? Santi Aldama's been in Memphis. Why is he getting these minutes here? Ja Morant's back in the lineup. Is this a big bump for guys we can get from the waiver wire, like the Santi Aldamas of the world? And I know the more that I mention Memphis, Matrix is just going to be like, yeah, just slapping his hands together and rubbing from his 6 cartons of Kosciuszko beer or craft beer that he had delivered today. But this is what we're here to do on this show. We're here to cover the most added guys over the course of the week. Now, I did this in the weekly preview show, so go back and check this out. Because this week is an interesting one, there is some really good value that we can get by hitting up the Monday and the Wednesday games coming into week 7, because they are the 2 lowest volume days. So when we talk about quality games, we're looking for players who are playing on quality games this week. So if we have a look at that, there are certain teams that are playing on the Monday and Wednesday. That's the Atlanta Hawks, the Boston Celtics who played today. And I did say it's a great day to have picked up guys who are playing today, like the Lakers, like the Celtics, these teams that had games on today. And we could roll them in the back-to-back set to finish off our week 6, get a good win on the board, and then roll nicely into week 7. So we had teams like that, like today, obviously the Lakers, they were playing. Really great pick up there. The Boston Celtics today versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Great win. Great way to turn on the head. Again, not full strength Celtics lineup, so let's not read into it too much. From the Cavaliers getting the win there. They were a team that we can look at, the Celtics, especially because they tend to rest guys on back-to-back sets. So we start to get these little glimpses into where we can make our ads. And that's why when we said we wanted to peek under the hood tonight, this is what we're doing. Because tomorrow night, we know that Al Horford, for all intents and purposes, doesn't play on the back-to-back sets. Here's a game-time decision. Kristaps Porzingis doesn't play on the back-to-back sets. They've just played the both of them tonight. So who gets the center minutes tomorrow night? And that's what we're going to have a look down. So I put together the first 10. Here is 10 targets off the rip that we can look at, because this is an interesting one. Week 7 is an interesting one to have must adds, because in Yahoo, week 7, well, it's part of week 8. The traditional week 8 in ESPN and Fantrax. It's just week 7 extended. It's a 2-week week, and you only get the same amount of ads. So this is where we don't want to just throw all the dollar bills in the air and make it rain and make our ads. We want to start strong. So the smart move that we can do is to have targets. The must-add players are for Monday and Wednesday, the low-volume days, because if we're trying to target the Tuesday, well, that's a little bit of an iffy one. We might not be able to get in there. Also, really good news, there's no back-to-back sets on Monday and Tuesday. So you're going to be absolutely stuffed sideways if you try and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get a Monday and Tuesday. Well, you can't. So target the quality games where you can roll guys out there. This can help you win your week. So these are my targets that I put on the last show. I've got Ricochet in Atlanta. Now we're going to dive into this a little bit. We've got Ricochet over there. Bogdan Bogdanovic, he has been dropped in a lot of leagues because of his injuries. He has been probable for his next game with his right hamstring injury. He hasn't been playing well. He is around. DeAndre Hunter as well has been a tremendous asset off the bench or starting for Atlanta recently. No matter what role he's playing, he has been playing well, but he is mostly rostered. Ricochet seems to be the name that we can get into there. In the Boston Celtics, Sam Hauser and Luke Cornett. Now, this is the interesting thing to get onto. Sam Hauser's been nudging 27 minutes a night in the last 3 games. So when we say these guys, and this is where it veers into our usual ownership territory. Sam Hauser, 27 minutes a night. He's a stream target. He's playing all the games. The next guy off the bench, now, he's not playing that many minutes, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting in Boston. Drew Peterson is averaging 25 minutes. Interesting. Jordan Walsh, 7 minutes. Luke Cornett, only 8.7. Now, put that down there. Why Cornett is an interesting one is because Xavier Tillman, he's only doing like 4.6 minutes a game. Peterson, the small forward with Jaylen Brown being out, he's gotten an extra run. He's just played in the one last game, played decently enough. It is what it is. But the interesting here to note with Luke Cornett for this back-to-back set is that on Monday, they're probably going to rest KP and Al Horford. So do we pick him up for the one game? Yeah, we might. But it's going to be probably Quieta that gets the minutes there. So we're looking to probably bring in Quieta. He's getting about 15 and a half minutes to 16 minutes a night. He's probably the ad for the Boston Celtics to start that week off, and he'll probably get some minutes off the bench more so than Luke Cornett. But Cornett seems to be the more readily available target for those who are still trying to make those ads. Now, the Lakers have been decimated by injuries to a certain extent. Rui Hachimura, Max Christie, Cam Reddish is here. Now, we did see them pull out today a couple of younger players, and this is what was really interesting for these guys today. I did say Max Christie yesterday was a stream. I was bang on the money today. He played 30 minutes. He came off the bench. Gabe Vincent got the start. So Gabe Vincent, add him onto the list of targets that we can get down to. Hood Shafino got 12 minutes, but Traore, he was 10 minutes and 52 minutes. Now, he didn't do much. He went 0 from field, but it was good to see him jacking up some shots there. And probably a look in deep leagues is someone like Christian Kolokolo, because if Anthony Davis isn't going to play on the back-to-back set because they just eked that win out of Utah, we're probably going to get some Koloko minutes with Jackson Hayes being out. So let's just keep our eyes open there. Dorian Finney-Smith, who should be good to go for the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow. Now, Dorian Finney-Smith had to he was out of the game tonight, but on the back-to-back set for these guys, we probably could pick him up for the Nets coming into those games this week. We've got Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith, the homie Hackers Jr. for Miami, and Jaden McDaniels and Nikhil Alexander-Walker for Minnesota to make the most of those Monday and Wednesday games. This is a nice little thing for anyone who you have an IR stash as well. I get asked this a little bit. Like, do I just activate guys straight away? Sometimes no. Now today, case in point of where you do activate them is Kristaps. Whenever he is rolled out there for the Boston Celtics after being questionable for it, and you might stash him in between games at IL and reactivate him, he can just blow up at a minute's notice. A really impressive stat line for Kristaps today. And this is what we love to see. And this is what we had for him on draft day when we drafted him, knowing that we could put him away like just a squirrel, just hiding their nuts for the wintertime. That's exactly what we wanted from Kristaps Porzingis. And he had another solid line again today. Now, Kristaps rolled out there for 32 minutes, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, no blocks. But the percentages were down a little bit. They're down for Kristaps. If he goes 50%, that's all of a sudden a 30-point game for these guys. And the only reason they probably lost was Jaylen Brown being out and Donovan Mitchell going absolutely thermo-bloody nuclear. And the other thing we want to talk about is this. We want to talk about how we come to knowing where these guys are and their values for their must-adds. So let's go through right now and let's give you names. And there's 12 off the rip straight away, 12, 13 names. You can make must-adds for the week. Why? Because these guys on the board, you're going to be able to play most likely 2 games. Adding Quetta into the menu there for the Boston Celtics. Sam Hauser would be my tick there. Finney-Smith, Zaire Williams, Jalen Wilson. These were all guys I called out on the show yesterday to get minutes. And sure enough, they actually went up against the Magic today. They were shorthanded. We had Dennis Schroeder come back in. Jalen Wilson got the start. Zaire Williams. Now, he was horrible today. Again, 0 from 6. Not going to instill a lot of faith. But again, a starter doing starter minutes thing. Trendon Watford and Keon Johnson off the bench for these guys. They were a must hits as well. So let's throw their name into the mix for the Brooklyn Nets, especially if Dorian Finney-Smith is out again. Trendon Watford was a guy I liked last year, never got the minutes he deserved, but he's still on this squad. And Keon Johnson, he's a gamer. He gets in there and he can probably give you some minutes, especially in your deeper leagues. Those are two names that we want to put on our must-add list, especially if you're in the ball page leagues or these 20-man leagues that have rosters where they go 200 players deep. Those are the names we want to have a look for in the Brooklyn Nets. Those fringe guys who are still first off the bench, they're not happy with most of their team. We know most of them are up for trade. Zaire Williams playing like crap. Cool. Get him out of there. Wilson, not great. Jalen, see ya. Here's Trendon. Goes out there, plays hard, gets the stats up on the board that you need. And in these deeper leagues, these are the kind of fringe targets that we want to have. So let's also break down the rest of the week to weeks and see who we can get some value on for it as well. Now, like we said, we've got these ones rolling into the week. We've got the Celtics, the Nets, the Lakers, the Heat, and the Pels. But we really want to focus on now the next games. Now, if you do have a free spot on that Tuesday and Wednesday on that heavy game day, we're looking for the Pistons and the Pacers, the Clippers, the Bucks, the Magic, and the 76ers. Now, the Clippers today, they had an absolutely brilliant win over the Denver Nuggets, and it was good to see Norm Powell back. So let's start with the Los Angeles Clippers today and what we can see from these returning injuries. And what we want to talk about is this. We want to talk about how we start to break down these injuries over time. Now, one of the things and the exercises that Mally and I do was we look through the injury report to see who's there and see how many minutes it aligns with for the course of the week. So if we all scroll all the way down here, we can see there's some guys who are still out. Now, Kevin Porter, Kobe Brown, Kawhi Leonard, and PJ Tucker, he's not injury related. He's out there. He's not playing for these guys anytime soon. Now, Kevin Porter Jr. is out for the Clippers today. We have a look at what action happens for them and who returned into the team. With the Clippers returning, Norm Powell came back out, and he only played 24 minutes, which was very interesting. James Harden, an electric game from him, down game from guys like Zubac, but the fringe guys still starting getting 25 minutes a game, like Derek Jones Jr. The guys off the bench that got the run there, obviously with Terrence Mann and Amir Coffey. So we were thinking that, that probably Coffey was going to take a little bit of a hit with the return. And yeah, that was absolutely the case. With the return of Norm Powell, Coffey did take a little bit of a hit. He only played 18 minutes today, but that was good enough. 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. The percentages, we'll take that. 5 from 11, 45%. Yeah, it's not going to hurt us too much. If he misses a couple more, it does. But Batum, the ghost of Nick Batum was out there today. 3 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, doing the Batum things across the board. But this is what we're talking about when we're making these little moves here and there. We're just looking to pull in these guys that we need for these little hits. So this is where we look at the injury report and we make it help us to know where we can get ads. Who's out? Point guard, small forward. Okay, who's going to get out there? The shooting guard. With the depth there, we're filling in the spots. So let's go back up here to Atlanta and make this work for us. Because like we see on our back-to-back sets here, we do get some run out of this way. We do have some action for the Pistons, the Pacers, the Clippers, the Bucks, the Magic, and the 76ers. So let's go through the names and have a look at some of these guys with where we want to go through and have a look there as well. Now, let's say Indiana and the Pacers are someone we want to have a look at. So this is a little bit of the peek under the hood time. We've got Naismith. We know that he's out still until mid-December. So Shepherd and Jackson and Wiseman are out. Now, Nembhard, this is what we like to see. We like to see Andrew Nembhard back in our lineups, and sure enough, he is returning, and he did get some run with them today. Back really hard, 14 minutes, but this was a good 14 minutes from Nembhard. So Nembhard has now made the list of streamers. We want to have a look at his availability across our leagues. He started 14 minutes, 14, 2, 4, and 2 steals. We like that on 6 from 11 from the field. It's like, get out here, get your shots up, get some reps, and we love what we saw from Nembhard today. So we do like to see that in his return. Off the bench, though, we did see TJ McConnell. He's still getting some minutes and some factors. And Obi Toppin, again, just seems to ride that wave there as Jarris Walker for the Pacers. So in the deep leagues, those are the names we focus on. McConnell, Toppin, Jarris Walker, and we look first and foremost for Andrew Nembhard. That's a great way that we can roll that out there for those back-to-back sets, especially for the Pacers if we're going into Tuesday, Wednesday, if we do have that. The thing here, though, is like we said, we want to kind of have a look at that and be like, yeah, okay, but I don't have any spots there. And with 11 games, it's really hard. So then we have a look into Wednesday, Thursday, and we realize that there's absolutely none. So this is where we go back to those original lineup of guys, and we try and attack those. We try and attack those matchups like we spoke about the first time, and we aim for these guys again. And so we go back to that list and we work through this list of our ads and our most getting guys. Why? These are the guys that we want. The Zaire Williams, the Jalen Wilsons. We want to pick up the Trendon Watfords or the Keon Johnsons for the Nets, because in deep leagues, they're going to be widely available. Kill Alexander Walker in Minnesota, he's going to be available. McDaniels, most likely available. Max Christie, most likely available. Cam Reddish, most likely available. We can get him in there. Ricochet is available in an incredible amount of leagues. And then we look at these for the Monday and Wednesday, and we get rid of that, and then we can move and focus our attention completely on the Thursday and the Friday. This brings us into the Bulls, the Warriors, the Kings, and the Spurs. Looking through the Chicago lineup, guys that we can look to bring in here, guys like Jalen Smith, Torrey Craig, and Ayo Dosunmu, who you can see there in the image. Ayo Dosunmu has been, for me, an ad for a little while now. I've got him in a couple of leagues, and he doesn't hurt us. He doesn't hurt us outside of field goal percentage, but he's chipping in across the board. And I hate using that sentence, doesn't hurt us, because we all know players do hurt us a little bit. But check out the injury report. We've only got Patrick Williams. He's most likely out this week, and Kobe White is a game time decision. So it's business as usual. So we can't look to make advantage of any injuries there. So we continue to ride guys like Ayo Dosunmu, and we put him to good use in our teams. Torrey Craig, he's getting 13 minutes, but Dosunmu with 31 minutes, he is the guy there who seems to be getting the absolute most run of play. What has been interesting is the Taylor Horton-Tucker experience. Taylor Horton-Tucker we could bring in for the back-to-back, depending on what skill set we need from him. He has been playing well of late, 15 minutes a game. Is averaging 16 points, 2 3-pointers a game, but no really peripherals there. Like we like the point Taylor Tucker experience from Utah and in concept. Maybe it sucked, but we like the fact that he could be able to get rebounds and assists, and he's only been averaging 1 assist a game. The field goal percentage isn't sustainable. Over the course of the last 3 games, it's been 857. And he's shooting higher from the field than he is from the free throw line at 833. That's bloody ludicrous for THH, for THT. I didn't even say his bloody initials right. Taylor Horton-Tucker is actually legitimately shooting better from the field than he is from the free throw line. That might not seem, a thing if you were like, Shaquille O'Neal. But when you're Taylor Horton-Tucker and you're averaging 857, that is completely 100% not sustainable whatsoever. But we like to see that. Lonzo Ball, we've seen him get a couple of games in. Can we get some more action out of Lonzo? This is what we want to see in these teams. We want to see the minutes and where they can be divvied up. Vooch continues to roll. That's been brilliant. But Lonzo Ball in his 18 minutes, the points aren't there, but we do like the steals, the 3 steals per game. We like these kind of peripheral stats. That's where we can get back onto those Chicago Bulls kind of players. Let's have a look at the Golden State Warriors really quickly to attack this next set. Golden State absolutely chugging along. Guys over in here, we can't just go along here and pick up guys like Andrew Wiggins anymore. They're well and truly have left the waiver wire by now. And with DeAnthony Melton being the major guy out for the season and no one else really there of impact, we have a look at their minutes. Kevon Looney, Trace Jackson-Davis. We pick up their big men if we need those big men stats. Now, in most 12-team leagues, we're dropping them. But in 14, 16-team formats, we look to pull them in. Kyle Anderson, he's been averaging 13 minutes a game. Gary Payton, Lindy Waters III. He has been playing pretty well of these guys and seems to be getting more and more minutes. He's been having 21 lately. With guys like Buddy Hield, obviously Buddy is well and truly off your way. We check for Buddy Hield immediately. Pods, though, he's been playing a lot better. Now, I'm thinking that we should be definitely adding him in 12-team leagues, certainly in 14-team leagues. Pods we're adding Brandon Podziemski like immediately in 14 and 16 teams if Pods is available. 28 minutes a game in the last 3, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. We'll take it with a block per game. The averages, the free throws, 100%. We like that on 2 attempts a game. But the field goal percentage at 435, that can hurt us a little bit. So I am looking to bring in Pods definitely this week, especially for this back-to-back set on Thursday and Friday. The Sacramento Kings, they've got a gamer. They've got a long time standing waiver wire ad in Jay Crowder. Now, we're checking out the injury report about this as well. So this is where we do use injury reports, and I love this one from CBS Sports with the predicted dates. This is one that Mally and I use quite a lot of. We go down and we have a look at this because Sacramento, when you get down to their lineup, there we go. We'll scroll all the way down here. We've got Kevin Herter. He's going to be possibly out this week on the first game. The big one that we're paying for is DeMar DeRozan. Now, he's not here on the injury report, but we have to have a look at what's going on with DeMar DeRozan because he has been game time decision of late. And if he's going to be out, we know that the ad we need to make is most likely Jay Crowder. He'll get a run with the starters, and as far as there is impact for that one, we can have a look for him. Now, he's been playing pretty well off the bench. Malik Monk, again, he was dropped. He can come back into times. Keon Ellis, 14, 16 team leagues. We add these guys in off the peripheral where we're looking to get guys in like Jay Crowder, who's been playing at 19 minutes a night for the last 3 games. But again, this is a guy that we can just pick up and drop off along the wayside as we see fit. DeMar DeRozan's healthy. No need for it. Back-to-back set. Maybe he plays one. Maybe he doesn't. We watch the wire for that one, and we make the most of that call when we can. Next, rolling into the Celtics again. This is where that Friday, Saturday back-to-back for Sam Hauser is an incredibly valuable ad this week. So I'm thinking like guys like Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard. If Peyton Pritchard is available in your leagues, we absolutely 100% just grab Peyton Pritchard at this point because we have the Friday, Saturday back-to-back. And as you can see, the Friday, Saturday is 7 games each. So this 7 games on Friday and 7 games on Saturday almost makes Sam Hauser an absolute no-brainer for the week. You get him on the Monday, you get him on the Wednesday, you get him for the back-to-back set on the Friday and Saturday where you absolutely have room for him. The only game that he's not playing for you is the really hard day on the Tuesday with 11 games. 8 games on Thursday, yeah, fine. You can drop him off, but you've got him for the back-to-back on the Thursday and Friday. And we also know this goes back to the Quetta minutes, right? Which center plays? Tillman's probably not going to get much of a run. Cornette could get some run. This is where we pick up him because we know that Horford and KP probably won't play in the same game or they may be spaced them out. Now, they played the same game today because it was the Cavaliers. I'm thinking that they might be a bit judicious later in the week, matchup dependent. Play KP one night, Horford starting the other night because they don't play back-to-backs, either of these blokes. So for me, this is what we can look at for them. And if we have a bit of a deep dive into week 7 as well, we can have a little bit of a look into what their matchups are. Now, this week, we've got them playing Miami for their first game, and then it's Milwaukee and Memphis. Milwaukee might be the team they want to focus on, and then matchup dependent, maybe they let Memphis roll through. Maybe they don't. Maybe they space them out and they give it a run. That's what we're looking to do when we're looking for these ads for the rest of the week. So when we're looking at those streaming options, those are the must-add guys that I'm having because it has benefit here. Then we look into the Hornets, the Cavs, the Nuggets, the Grizz, the Heat, the Pels, the Suns, and the Wizards for the Saturday and the Sunday games. Now, the Sunday, again, is a really heavy game slate, which rounds out to 12 games. It is the heaviest game of the week. Again, see a need, fill a need. Going through the list of guys who I'm personally liking throughout this team, let's have a look at these guys that we can target for the back end of the week here. For the Charlotte Hornets, with the absence of Grant Williams, we know that Nick Richards and Mark Williams are returning very, very soon, and they should be available by the end of the week. In the meantime, before they return, Taj Gibson's even been worth a little bit of a run, and Musa Diabate has been an ad, as has Cody Martin. We could also get a little bit of burn out of Josh Green, but the number one ad, I've got to stress here, is Micic. We know that LaMelo Ball has been injured. He's out for a couple of weeks. His field goal percentage will hurt you, but we absolutely love the assists that this bloke can bring in. We absolutely add Micic. He is a must-add this week. The Hornets have a pretty, they have a pretty, they're the Hornets. They don't have a good schedule at any time. But he will be the starting point guard, especially with Trey Mann being out because of injury. This is a guy that we want to bring into our lineup. So let's make some room for him, especially at the back end of the week. Or if we're chasing assists down from our opponent, we can bench one of our best guys, we drop our worst guy, and we make sure that we activate Micic for that back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday. He can help you tie up that category quite easily. He's averaging 4.7 a game. I think he dropped 8 last time out. So we want to see what he can bring us, especially in that department towards the end of the back end of the week on this one. The Grizzlies. Like I said, we were going to touch on Memphis a little bit later in the pod, and this is where we talk about them. Concha has been getting no minutes. Huffy has been getting no minutes, but the guys pulling out in the minutes here have been Jalen Wells and Jake LaRavia. They've been averaging just above 10 or 15 minutes, with Santi Aldama getting 15, and Marcus Smart. He is available in a lot of leagues. He's looked better. He came back. He had an absolute blinder, plus 20 game the other day, then a little bit back down to earth. People add him thinking that he might score 20 points again. No. He's not going to. But will he give you the defense that you need? Will he get you maybe 10, 12 points a game? Maybe a 3 a game, a couple of assists, a couple of rebounds? Yeah, 100%. But we like him there for his steals, and we like him when he's not the Marcus Smart jacking up shots and he's plus 500 from the field, which he has been for his past 4 games. So we want to see that continue for Marcus Smart. So we absolutely look to add Marcus Smart if we can get into the back of him on the end of the week there. With the Phoenix Suns, we know this is a back-to-back set, so they're going to be very careful with guys like Brad Beal. Ryan Dunn has been getting a lot of minutes over in Phoenix, as so too has Royce O'Neal. Nurkic has been dropped off in the counter over here. Grayson Allen and also Iguodala are guys that we all like to target possibly towards the end of the week, with Ryan Dunn just not living up to the expectations that we wanted him to have in those minutes. For the Washington Wizards, it is swoop in on Bilal Coulibaly time. The East Coast Cooler, as I like to call him, has been down on form. And people just drop him off. They're like, no, sucks. I haven't got room for it. I'm not here to stand for it. And with fair assumption, he started the season absolutely hot, and then he was dropped. And in the last week, he has been outside the top 200 in fantasy. Look, you're barely holding him, or you've let go of him by now. That's fine. That could suit you very well if we're chasing some of the defensive stats, if they can get back up there. Still 1.3 a game. The 3 assists a game are nice. The percentages, they hurt you. He has been 240 from the field over his last 3 and 666 or 667 if we're rounding up in the old mathematical equation, over his last 3 games. This is not good. If we can get a resurgence of him, or we see a little bit of hint of that early in the week, we're definitely looking to pick up Coulibaly. Bub Carrington available in a lot of leagues. You can drop him in 12, but you want to use him possibly in 14 and 16, or absolutely in 14 or 16. Just beware. His free throw percentage has been garbage, and he's not getting there to the line much. Now, he's been averaging less than 1 a game, so we want to look to pull him down on that one, because he's been 500 from the free throw line, which really hurts you when he's not even taking 1 a game, and then he's hitting 1 from 2. So he might not get any 1 game. He comes in and hits 1 or 2, and that can absolutely sink up your free throw percentage. Guys, that pretty much wraps it up for me. Big shout out to our sponsors, the Standard Squeeze. Make sure you get your gear on here. I've got the Lemon 100. I had the flu game yesterday. This is more like the lemon honey tea game pod tonight. This is a big shout out to them. Get your 4-in-1s. Get them for Christmas. I think their cyber sale is still on, and their discount code STACK. That's incredible value. Get onto them. Use promo code IFS15 for an extra 15% off at our good friends, the Standard Squeeze. Make sure you like and subscribe to the bell below. Get notified when all our content comes out from here. We've got a whole bunch coming out. BBL season is ramping up very, very soon. NBL season, we are in the midst of that, and we have NBA content coming out at the rate of knots. I'm Matty G. You can find me at NBAGWiz, and you can find us at Insight F Sports across all your social medias. Get onto it. Take care. Be well. I'll see you soon.